Hi, faithful caregiver. Today we're going to talk about smiles. When my mom became less communicative, I noticed that her smiles also diminished. So when I was studying about it, just to see what makes a person smile or not smile, I found out that there are 43 muscles in your face that make you smile or make you frown. And as this disease progresses, what happens is, and I'm going to read this to you, I want to make sure that I tell you the exact right thing, that there is something called frontotemporal degeneration, which is a progressive nerve cell loss. So, as that nerve cell loss happens, then your loved one's not going to respond like they used to just because you're standing there smiling at them necessarily. It's kind of like the analogy of an onion that I used before. When you take this onion and you peel it back, I'm not going to peel it back, I'd sit here and cry the whole time. When you peel it back, it might come off in pretty strips or it might kind of get jagged and come off. Well, as this disease progresses, because we're all so unique, it's not going to be the same for everybody. So just remember that when you're dealing with your loved one, that just because you see another dementia person and they're smiling, it may be that they just have not progressed to the stage that you are in yet. So don't let that discourage you. What I found out that I needed to do was to be intentional in smiling at my mom, and to that was first thing. The second thing was to speak with a smile in my voice, which we should be doing anyway. So when I was intentionally smiling at mom one day, she still was not responding to me. And this is the look that she gave me. I took some photos of that day because it was just a day that was different than most days. So when I looked at mom, this is the look that I got back, just that trance-like look. And if you've got a dementia patient or parent or loved one that you're taking care of, you know this look possibly. You may not have gotten to this stage yet, but this is what I was looking at. Mom was just staring at me like I wasn't there. So I wasn't sure, what it was. It could have been a vision thing, which I'll talk about in a different video. But then I went to the side of mom and I thought, okay, let's just see what happens when she feels movement around her. And she just still did not respond to my movement, even though I thought I was in her line of vision. And she was staring in that trance-like stare still. Then I spoke to her. I thought, I'm just going to speak to her. I didn't want to startle her, but I just said, hey, Mom. And she turned and she looked at me. So even though she wasn't aware of me at first, she did hear me. She audibly heard me when I spoke to her. And she turned around and she just looked at me. She wasn't smiling again, but she had responded and turned at least. Well, then I thought, I'm just trying things, because that's what you do when you have someone that you're taking care of that you love. I said, smile, Mom. And she got her little smile on her face. And that was just thrilling to me that day. So then I thought, well, I'm going to, walk back to the front and see what she will do. And I said, will you smile for the camera? And she did. She just was in her bed sitting and she looked and smiled. And this is a precious memory for me. And it's because I took the time to be intentional with my mom. I know it's very easy when they are being quiet for you to just think, oh, I'm so glad they're being quiet and they're not pacing the room. I'm going to let them sit there, but because you're trying to get something done. But I would just encourage you to have intentional moments throughout the day that you would smile at your loved one, because you might be rewarded with one of their smiles back. And that's just, to me, was just a thrilling moment. She may not have known who I was. Mom may have thought she was smiling at her little sister again that day, but it didn't matter to me. It was because she was still responding, and that just made it for a really wonderful day. So God bless y'all as you care for your loved one, and I will see you next time around. Bye-bye.